Ah, yes, the Fano War. It's one of the balanced weapons in the game, yet it's almost useless in casual and competitive because of the bad weapon mechanics. But the weapon is far the best weapon for MVM because of its long duration debuff that can assist to deal massive damage to the robots. In this video, I'm going to talk furthermore about this weapon stats and how can we make it useful in both game modes. Without further ado, let's start. By the way, this video was a recommendation from this guy in the classic rebalance video. Fun fact, did you know that the weapon is a warfan from Japan, which it's called Gunbei, and used by samurai officers in Japan for means of communication with their troops. It's noting like in Naruto, which is used in combat and shit. And now here are the weapon stats. Crits whenever it would normally mini crit. On hit, one target at a time, is marked for death, causing all damage taken to be mini crits. Minus 75% damage penalty. The weapon is already balanced in its own way, but the huge problem is that the scout must hit the enemy with it, which is suicide. You are a light health class which his health is only 125. It's hard to hit someone with this weapon because of his small health pool. However, in MVM, it's one of the most useful weapon for the scout because bots had a bad aim and the scout can collect money, which would give a massive overheal for the scout, which is easy for the scout to hit the enemy with the weapon. So the question remains, how can we make the weapon reliable in both game modes? Well, here are the stats. Alt fire points at the enemy, one target at a time, is marked for death, causing all damage taken to be mini crits, and applies reveal, causing the enemy to be seen through walls. Debuff effects will be removed if the player lost sight at the enemy for 2 seconds. Minus 25 maximum health on wearer. Minus 75% damage penalty. Let's talk again about the fact of the weapon. The weapon is called Gunbei, which used by samurai officers in Japan for means of communication with their troops. Right. The weapon is not for engaging an enemy, then hitting them, instead leading your team for an attack, which this stat is about. The scout will point at the target to reveal the enemy's current location and applying mini crit to the target, and it can be used in any range and without any duration of the effect. But there is a catch. Your health will drop to 105, making it hard for the scout to engage enemies in a direct combat. And if you lost track of the enemy for 2 seconds, the enemy's debuff effects will be removed. Yes, even if you look away for the enemy for 2 seconds, the effects will be removed. How to counter? If you are being revealed, well, you can just hide for 2 seconds from the scout to remove the effects. Note, the effect will not have a duration, which means that you can apply the stats to the enemy until you lost sight of them. And another note, you cannot place the effect to a disguise spy, and if you manage to apply the effect to spy, but he turns invisible or disguised himself, the debuff will be removed. There will be an animation of a scout pointing towards the enemy, and this animation is unskippable for 2 seconds, making you defenseless. And you can't just talk willy-nilly and pointing randomly at enemies, because you must aim at an enemy to apply the effects. And yes, you can miss as well. About the debuff reveal. It is not official, nor created by Valve or the TF team, but it's just my idea of a new debuff status effect. The reveal debuff will show your team color outline, similar to the spawn wall hack, which you will see all your teammates' locations. The debuff will be seen in the side of your health, which the same location you will see the skull of the mini crit. You will identify an ally if they are being revealed when your team and yourself can see your own ally through walls, and your ally will have a mark for death on their head. With this stats, it is still viable for MVM, because you can still apply mini crits to the giant robots without direct confrontation to the enemy giants. Overall, with this stats, the weapon will be a good supporting weapon for your team and yourself. It still follows the original concept of the weapon, but now works in a different way. You can apply mini crit to the enemy as well, reveal the enemy to everyone in your team, which can be applied to an infinite range, and there will be no duration of the effect, which the debuff could never end. But if you lose your sight of the enemy, even some props or windows for a brief moment, the debuff effect will be removed. There will be an animation when pressing Alt Fire, which will be unskippable. With the low health, you most likely will stay out of combat, and the damage is nearly useless. Well, after all of this, it's just my opinion, and that is all. Thank you guys for watching this video, and do let me know if you think this idea is balanced or not. Tell me down in the comment section below, and tell me if you had any suggestion on what weapon I should rebalance next. Oh, by the way, the next video that I'm making is about the heavy update, and it might take a while to make. Bye guys.